Yeah, what are you up to nowadays?
Oh, what am I up to? Let's see. I'm running Growth Engines by GMA, which works with, like I said, startups and SMBs and mid markets doing digital advertising and CRM tech implementations. And it's a blast. Our team and I, we create things every day that we're really proud of and excited about. So, yeah, that's what we do.
Right. And why is it a blast specifically? Some people would find marketing pretty boring. Why do you like it?
We are technical geeks. We love it. Let's see, the kind of direct response marketing that we do, it's the kind of marketing where you can acquire 500,000 customers in 6 months. When you can do that, you can change the course of businesses. CRM tech stacks. Companies depend on CRM tech stacks, especially B2B companies, to have their teams do good work. 70% of those fail. So we have a process where they work really well and teams can be successful. So seeing teams be successful is very exciting. And then with digital advertising, millions of dollars being spent to let new customers know about products in B2C businesses. And with that much on the line, companies, again, their success very much depends on the results of these programs. So being able to set up really solid programs, great conversion tracking, and remove some of the chaos from the market and the external factors, and really have them take control of their destiny, that's very exciting to us.
So creating 500,000 customers, like how is that even possible? What niche was that? And yeah, tell me about that one specifically.
Sure. So for that one, that was by no means a niche. That was where I started my career. That was at American Express. And we had to decide whether to, we were working with Delta Airlines. They merged with Northwest Airlines. And US Bank didn't want to say, American Express, here, just take my portfolio, which is a large percent of revenue. So I was a recent MBA graduate, and I did a modeling exercise to figure out, should we buy or build this portfolio of customers? I recommended building, which turned into a full-scale marketing arms race. So we built a targeted offer engine in American Express owned channels. We integrated directly into Delta channels. And then we navigated a massive customer database to fuel personalization. So the three of those things, they were huge. They took armies of people at American Express to get those done. But by lining those up correctly, that's what yielded the results that I was talking about, the 500,000 customers. And on the challenging side, the response rates were so high that they actually shut down a call center. So you take the good and the challenges and you learn from it. But it was really special to get more campaign execution done in 6 months than companies can do in 6 years.
Right, but it's all about the offer, right? Like American Express, they're selling money, free money in some cases, right? So it's like, hey, do you want more credit? Was that like the kind of offer?
Well, there for Delta, it's all about Sky Miles, frequent flyer miles, about elite qualification miles. So yeah, you can't just make it up. And they had the currency through the partnership with Delta Airlines to offer the most valuable currency to the card members. But there's art in how you do that. Some people care about getting the elite qualification miles, getting into first class, getting into lounges. Some people just care about getting enough miles so that they could redeem. And some customers just want a good rate on their card. So you need to think really carefully about each of those, what customer wants. Think about what levels you're going to do, because the profitability matters when you're operating at that large of a scale. And we're talking about, American Express, they have 60, 70,000 employees worldwide. We're talking about massive amount of company revenue, and the Delta card was a really important piece of that revenue. So there was a lot at stake. There was a lot of pressure on my shoulders, on the team shoulders that I was working with, and on the leaders' shoulders who had this program in place. So yes, we can say it's give away money, but there's a lot at stake. You can't pull that all off without a lot of thoughtful strategy and execution.
Yeah, it's like great offer meets great distribution, right? Like that's often what I tell my own clients. You are also at Shutterstock. And how was Shutterstock in 2017? I think the demand was still pretty high for stock photos back then, right?
Yeah, I mean, Shutterstock was great. We were in the Empire State Building, working with some of the best and brightest in tech, and it was very exciting. There, we went really deep into CRM there. I was the head of MarTech at Shutterstock, and Shutterstock had incubated a lot of businesses and acquired a lot of businesses. So effectively, I was managing about a dozen to 24 different tech stacks at the same time, and CRM being a core piece of what was in the middle of all these tech stacks. So I had always managed those throughout my career, but that was at a whole different scale. And same thing. This is it's a global customer base. So the stakes again they get higher when you're solving all those riddles and building roadmaps, but you're doing it for a massive company.
And nowadays, you work with real estate clients, hospitality clients. Like, what do you do different from all these other agencies when you start working with a client? Do you analyze their existing CRM? What's your methodology that has generated that much more different results than other agencies?
So let me break down that question into two pieces. So when we work with a CRM client, oftentimes they are tech companies that are growing quickly. They have product market fit. They have products that the market wants. They usually have teams of, at least 20 to 50 employees. And they often tell us we have a data mess. We hate our CRM. We hate this team who we need to do handoffs with. They have real issues with with their CRM. So what we do is we come in, we meet all the key stakeholders, the ones who are generating the revenue, the ones who are dealing with the deep operations of the business, and we map their entire company in a flow chart. I don't know if you've ever seen or thought about seeing your whole company in a flow chart, but it's really eye-opening. We geek out on it. Most people who we work with, they don't care. In the beginning, they flow chart, but they sort of trust in our process. And then we come back to them and we show them the flow chart and exactly where the root causes are for all of their issues. And we show them their company in a different way. They can see the root causes of all of their pain points. And then we can show them the solutions that'll fix that and make work a little bit easier. It's hard to scale these companies when you're thinking about 20, 30, 50% year over year growth. There's a lot to deliver for these companies. And we find that a lot of these really talented employees are incarcerated by the technology that's supposed to be enabling them. So we flip it on its head. We make the technology serve them. And at the end of the projects, we generally get the same reaction from all of them. They say, this is great. CRM's always been crappy throughout my career, but now it actually helps us. And in a lot of these instances, companies were thinking about hiring 5, 10 employees to expand nationwide, to expand into another product line. And because of the work that we're doing, they don't have to do that. It's much easier for all the employees to do their jobs. So we've got that process locked down, and we see results like service tickets. They get the completion rates within 24 hours are up north of 97%. The speed at which they're able to quote and send proposals out is 10x what it used to be. The license costs, they're going down to half of the cost of what they used to be, even though it's a much more powerful solution. So it's exhilarating. We really enjoy that work. The clients are really appreciative, which is very rewarding. The real estate side is totally different. On the real estate side, while they have CRMs that need to work well, we are often doing advertising for the real estate companies. And for the real estate companies, they usually say to their marketing teams or their agencies, give me leads. I want leads. Give me more leads. Give me cheaper leads. But leads doesn't mean revenue. Just because someone fills out a form doesn't mean that they're going to become a new resident or a tenant in these buildings, co-working spaces. So what we do is we go deep into the CRM and we feed all of the data freely between the CRM and the ad platforms. How the data goes from the ad platforms into the CRM and then back into the ad platforms, there are a million details, which I will not bore you with, Charles, here, but it's part of our secret sauce, which leads to 2x to 3x profitability of Google Ads programs in the real estate industry. So we're really excited about that one. That was particularly rewarding because it brought together our capabilities in digital advertising and in CRM to deliver these ads results. So that's a little bit, give you a little flavor of what we're up to.
Right. And what do you charge usually for clients to work with you?
So it depends. The starting price on both sides is about $5,000 a month. For advertising, it starts off at $5,000 to get 5 campaigns in one platform. And then for each platform or 5 campaigns you add on, you just add on another $2,500. And that gets, companies are able to get a taste of this growth engine, for pretty low stakes. You don't have to trust us, see how it works, see the results you get. And then on the CRM side, we start with an assessment. Back to that process that I was describing about seeing your company and a process flow and getting the blueprint for how it could be better. Those range between 5 and 10K, depending on the size and complexity of the company. And what we say there is, you get the blueprint at the end of that engagement. You don't have to work with GMA. You can DIY, you can RFP. Most companies choose to work with us to roll it out. But, at the end of that engagement, you know exactly the root causes of your problems in CRM, and you know exactly how to fix them. So those are that's how you start working with GMA. We get comfortable with each other and go from there.
Right. And have you seen like a specific growth hack work for most of the clients that you work in? For example, I've been hooked to cold email in the past 5 to 7 years. I haven't seen another B2B platform that's equal in results, right? And in scale and in cost per acquisition. Have you seen some channels, some techniques or systems work better than others for your clients or yourself?
Everyone wants a silver bullet in digital ads and growth, and in CRM, everyone wants that silver bullet. We've found that by the name Growth Engine Systems, we don't really do any shortcuts. We go deep into the core growth engines that customers are using, the CRM and the ads, and we just wire them up correctly. We find that, over 3/4 of the systems that we see, they're all wired incorrectly, which is inhibiting the growth that doesn't require a silver bullet. It just requires some diligence and a good partner. So that's that's where we focus. In terms of, ads, we use probably a dozen different channels, and it really depends on who you're going after to know which one's going to be appropriate. For example, some ads customers, after you get Meta and Google going well, sometimes TikTok and LinkedIn will work well. Sometimes using TV with using a data-driven TV approach with lots of data involved can help companies grow. Sometimes radio could work, but it really all depends on the context. And then in CRM, there are so many interesting plugins for CRM systems like Salesforce and HubSpot that could really accelerate results very quickly. But it depends on where what industry you're in, which team needs the unlock. Is it customer support? Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it operations? Are you working in tech? Are you working in another industry? So I have different answers to that question depending on all those different inputs, but hopefully, I didn't completely dodge your question and there's some nuggets in there that will be helpful.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no silver bullets, but there's always, let's say that, yeah, there's various piece of the pie. There's one piece of the pie that usually is like 27% of your secret sauce, right? Like, that's sort of what I'm looking for. But tell me also about another of your company. It's called Nassive, right? Like, tell me a bit more about why you started that one and what was your thesis behind it.
That one started because while we were constructing stacks, tech stacks for, companies like Shutterstock, and all of these engagements, we're dealing with technology, whether we're doing advertising or we're doing CRM tech stacks, and we're always dealing with software providers. And if you think about software providers, they have an army of sales. Their sales team is an army, and they're going after you, Charles. They're thinking about what is Charles's psychology. How am I going to get him to sign on the dotted line? And you're not thinking about how do I combat sales execs at SaaS companies. You're thinking about how do I run a really interesting podcast really efficiently and grow my reach like crazy. And your time is best spent in the latter, not in the former. So Nassive Play was an attempt to equalize some of those dynamics, to sort of rebalance some of those structural issues. So that's really what it is. It's just to get better price, better costs on software, and it sort of fits into the type of work we do. We find that if you architect the CRM tech stacks and the MarTech and ad tech really well, you can get tremendous savings if you just think about what you need better. So it kind of all fits together, and that's why Nassive came into the mix.
Interesting. And a day in your life, what does it look like as a founder? Any habits you're nurturing to be more productive, be more happy?
Yeah, so we use ClickUp religiously. We do sprints. Everyone from the team is operating in ClickUp. We have sprints. We look at utilization scores, completion rates, where we're spending our time. We say we build growth engines for our clients, and we treat ourselves like a growth engine. How our time is spent. We are methodical. We are diligent, and we're constantly improving the process. Our dashboards are awesome. They have all this terrific metadata. Again, to geek out with you here, our tags, our priority are like we slice and dice it so many different ways, and it just helps us keep getting better and better. And we want to walk the walk here. We don't want our clients to just do well. We want ourselves to do well. We want to sort of be authentic through and through.
Love that. And what are your top goals for this year? What do you want to achieve?
So we had a big moment where we realized instead of delivering great ads programs and CRM tech stacks, we're building growth engines. We're building systems. So we decided the mission of the company is going to be to have every company needs a growth engine. We want every company in the world to have a world-class growth engine. Doesn't have to be, as large as American Express and Shutterstock. It can be an emerging one that a startup might have, but we want every company to have one. So that's kind of the mission. And then our goal for this year, some of the pricing I mentioned earlier is a bit more aggressive than we used to do, because we're in a bit of growth mode, and we just want to make it much more accessible to everyone. So even though we typically work with companies for 3 to 4 years, those entry-level price points are going to get so many more companies on the right path to having their growth engine. So our goal for this year is I'm still deciding, because we had this sort of shift in mission, but is to 2x or 3x the number of clients that we've done in the previous year, instead of just increasing revenue year over year. We used to just look at revenue, and now, I'd even be willing to take a hit if we can get more companies on the right path, the golden path towards the growth engine.
Love that. And where can people find out more about you and your company, Jason?
Growthmarketingadvisors.tech. everything's on that website. We spend a little too much time on it because we're passionate about what we do, but it's, again, growthmarketingadvisors.tech.
So it's Jason and Charles for another